Hey guys, today I want to talk about shifting into who you were actually created to be. You are already that. It's that you just aren't aware of it because of old programs and old limiting beliefs that aren't your fault. That literally your subconscious is a powerful, powerful sponge. It's the most powerful computer. No man-made computer will ever be as powerful as our minds. We use such a small percentage of our brain. So I want to talk a little bit about how our minds are always influencing matter. If you're experiencing something in your reality, the experience is a manifestation. We are manifesting everything at all times, 24/7. We always have been, we always will be. You are now just becoming consciously aware of it. So then you can become aware of who you truly are. So you can shed all of the limiting beliefs, much like when the caterpillar that looks up at the sky and sees the beautiful butterfly, wishes they could be the butterfly. That caterpillar is the butterfly. And when they go through the metamorphosis, they come out of the cocoon spreading their wings, right? So it's kind of like that with you too. You are already who you feel deep down inside of you that you are. There's no wishing to become or hoping to become or praying to become. You already are that, but you have to allow yourself to go through the change, the metamorphosis, which you are now becoming awakened to. Everything in your reality will be invisible and become visible when you are trusting in that and expecting it. In other words, you are believing that you are understanding that God created you in your reality to create on behalf of God. Just like Florence Scovel Shinn says, praying is us telephoning to God. Intuition is God telephoning to us. So, what is in your heart and soul is God's will for you. So, you can trust that, and you can trust that it also already exists because everything that you do desire already exists because all of creation is done. And I wanted to use a metaphor today that I talked about on a live stream probably over a year or a year and a half ago. I do believe that it's going to be very helpful. This is going to be a relatively short and sweet video. Before I get into this further, please do like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel if you love my content, if it's been of value to you. And if you want me to be your coach, email me a short description to kim@coreunion.com. We will reply back with my next available session after you've booked with me. You can do a 30-minute or a package. Most people end up doing the package because it does make meeting with me more than once much more affordable. The dogs are playing in the background, and I think it's adorable. So remember these were very popular years ago. They're still popular. They're still being sold, but it's called 3D pin art, and it's usually kind of a box. Usually they're with these gray pins, and there could be hundreds, and depending on the size, there can be thousands of these gray pins. There are even life-size boxes where people can stand in front of it and pose a certain way. And then when you either press your hand or an object or your face or your entire body, depending on the size of the 3D box, the 3D pin art box, then pins come forward and you see the shape of whatever was being impressed behind it. So I want you just to, for a moment, imagine as if your entire 3D reality, so you have your little 3D reality bubble, that is your reality, right? And everyone and everything in your reality that you experience are your manifestations. Every person in your reality is a divine messenger for you, just showing you that you're right about whatever it is that you believe in terms of the concept of yourself and how you perceive others and how they perceive you and what your experiences are like in uh, friendship relationships, relationships with people in business, with employees, with coworkers, or with your boss or colleagues, or in a loving relationship. If your reality bubble was of kind of an invisible sphere that was 3D pin art, so you were immersed in this, right? All infinite possibilities and potentials exist all at once. And we only have the moment now. period, point blank. We believe that time is linear, but it's not true. If you're now living in your reality, and your reality is made up of this 3D pin art, but you don't see it all of these pins represent every potential, right? So when you are impressing your subconscious mind by introducing new beliefs and ideas from your conscious mind, especially when your subconscious is wide open, like before you go to sleep. It doesn't have to be at certain times of the day, but it is optimal if it's right before you go to sleep. So you go to sleep feeling into thinking from the end of whatever you want in your reality. And then you wake up and you're going to feel into, again, living from the end. And then throughout the day, you're going to maintain a good and healthy mental diet, which means that if you become aware of wanting to take action that's not in alignment with your end out of need, fear, seeking, wondering, manipulation, force, and pushing, you are not in trust. So it's your job to step back, detach, and surrender, hand it over to your higher self, to God, and to the greater God. I and my Father are one, but my Father is greater than I. Imagine now that you are impressing your subconscious mind with being in the relationship that you know deep down in your heart and soul exists between you and your beloved. But you are still fearful of that. And they come back into your reality because you're still a little bit afraid. You have a little bit of a tiny expectation that this is going to happen again. So, like whatever it is that caused the separation, the illusion of separation, because it's all there, just like with the 3D pin art. You have been doing your inner work. You've been very faithful to it, but you've also been wavering, but you've been faithful. And now you're starting to really feel into this and you're starting to really trust into it. So now, just like with the 3D pin art, you've made an impression of a certain experience that you've been having in your inner world with your beloved. So then in your reality, you end up seeing proof of that through the impression that's coming towards you. But everything is still also there, just like with the 3D pin art. All potentials are there until there's an impression in it. So now you start to experience an impression and they come back into your reality. But the moment that they come back, you almost start to prepare yourself. Is it going to happen again? Just when, as soon as maybe there's a little bit of a lag time between responses by text or calls or whatever, or you guys make plans and something happens and plans fall through. And then you're already in that energy. This is going to happen again. So then that's going to have to be something that you end up experiencing because again, mind influences matter. So you are experiencing what you were dominantly expecting. But just as easily as that happened, if you can get yourself to a place of stability and being grounded and in full trust, when then whatever you are impressing your subconscious with them coming back into your reality, if you can stay in that trust because you've made it feel so natural that the two of you guys are harmonious with each other, trusting each other, bringing out the best in each other, both feeling equally safe and secure with each other, you both are already fully healed. And you don't have to be perfect, by the way, to be in the relationship. You just don't, you have to stop expecting them to go again. Then, when you've impressed that dominantly, your reality will show you that too. But remember, if you end up getting the impression, the evidence of something that you don't want, all infinite possibilities and potentials are always existing, just like with, again, bringing it back to the metaphor of the 3D pin art. You are simply seeing an impression come forward to you based off of what the object is or what the belief or the expectation is of you and them and the relationships and the dynamic through your dominant impression of your subconscious, and then it will come towards you. So don't freak out if what did come towards you wasn't ideal and wasn't of your end. Everything still exists, but you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get back into your power of forgiveness and unconditional love and expectation and trust and stay in that. And the best way to stay in that is going to be to not fall for all of the 3D traps that are constantly luring you in, tempting you because it's like that devil's knocking at the door. I'm not home. I'm not answering it. I'm not home. I don't hear you. I don't see you. Right? Not in my father's house. Okay. So you really want to kind of go into that and become the gatekeeper of your imagination, your kingdom of heaven, and allow yourself to remain in that as much as you possibly can. So then when your person comes back again, because they will, because you guys were meant to be, you are the same being in two different bodies, sharing the same consciousness. Okay. You have to trust in that. And if you say, how do you know that? This is how life works. So you just have to study a little bit more. But if you can get yourself deeper into a place of trust without messing with your 3D, without messing with the middle, then you can trust that when they do come back, they are there to stay. They are there to stay. And then you won't perceive any lack of, if you have a good relationship with your mother or an uncle or whatever, and you text them, and if they don't respond right away, do you start getting in your feelings about it and getting all in your angst and fear and, oh, they're literally not ever gonna reach out to me again? They're leaving me, they're abandoning me. And I know a lot of you guys, some of you guys are like, yeah, I actually do. I get that. So if you do, guess what? This has nothing to do with your beloved, with your true love. So detach it from them. And you just have to allow yourself to be the version of you who is never abandoned, who's always secure, always chosen, always a priority. You do this through giving yourself all of the love that you need. And remember, just a reminder, if you even think that you want to be with your beloved more than they want to be with you, that is putting them outside of your reach. And that doesn't work. And sometimes it'll also, if you don't feel good enough for your person or for the relationship, or if you're fearful of the relationship, your divine counterpart, your mirror, is literally feeling the same thing. So you have to get to a place where you know that the two of you guys are equally, securely in love with each other, ready for each other, committed to each other, faithful to each other, and stay in that blissful, wonderful relationship as much as you can. It doesn't mean that you freak out because you realize they're not actually living with you. It's just the energy. It's just carrying yourself in the wife or husband or partner or spouse energy, whatever you want. Okay. Anyway, I know that this video was of some value. Please do comment down below that you are going to trust that your mind influences your matter and that you are the creator of your life. That was Felix saying, you better listen. And if you need me, just reach out. I love you. Have a good day. Bye.
Nothing can come, nothing can come, nothing can come between us.